Feed the need. Feed the need. Feed the need.
Podcast, the number one 16 team fantasy football podcast in the world. I am your host, Derek Moody. As always, my co-host, the season 2 Feed the Need champ, Trev Brown. How you doing?
Not doing too bad this week. We had a great, thanks for the introduction, by the way. That was fantastic. Season 2 Feed the Need champ. Can't take that away, boys. But had a great draft. I had a great everything. Going into it's Wednesday. Football starts tomorrow. You just couldn't be more pumped.
Yeah, agreed, man. I'm excited. Hand up intro, last pod, trash. I don't even want to think about it. It's getting better. I practiced all week in the truck at work all by myself, to be honest with you. So we're getting better.
Oh yeah.
But we're gonna hop into this. Like you said, draft was this Sunday. It was sweet. It was great. With that being said, Uncle Rich, man, you're the best, dude. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Whoever said,
can you believe
what going forward? The bar's set so high. Dude, thank you so much for all the food, the drinks. There was so much food there. It was insane. Anything you wanted to drink, the draft board, the room. Bro, thank you.
Top shelf margarita bar, bacon, chicken, waffles. Just absolutely TV going in the background. Just comfy seating everywhere. A covered lighting. Just some curricular activities outside whenever we were bored. Like just a fantastic day. Cannot thank Rich enough. Just round of applause for Rich.
Yeah, agreed, dude. That was awesome. Two other things before we get into the real pod here. One thing, fantasy football, man. This is kind of a me thing here, but I got to say it. Fantasy football, this podcast is great. Just yesterday was my 2 years with my dad passing away. Him and I talk fantasy football all the damn time. So this is like my little getaway here of I don't get to talk with him anymore about it, so talking to you guys. So rest in peace, Dad. I love you. Second of all, I got one other thing. Yes, thank you to Rich. Again, just amazing. I also want to say thank you to everybody in the league for being so understanding about Spencer. I'm going to call him by his real name here. This is kind of serious. Spencer wasn't at the draft. He was having his first kid. So thank you to everybody for being so understanding and patient. And, it was it was like Spencer was there, but he wasn't, which was probably for the better. But huge congrats to Spencer and Kiara for their little girl.
Yeah, happy baby girl, right?
Little baby girl.
Happy baby girl.
Yeah. He's another girl dad like me. So, anyways, one last thing before we dive into the pod. Trevor, I texted you and I told you. What's up?
I just had one thing. I wanted to thank Jimmy for these awesome... I mean, this is probably backwards, huh? But Jib Strong Feed the Need bracelets. I hope everyone wears them. I didn't know Jimmy was doing this. It kind of he just showed up with it. And, dude, we have the greatest group of 16 friends I think anybody could ask for. Like, straight up, like, have it, like everyone knows, like, all of our relationships have gone, like, we were really close, not close, really close, all that good stuff. Dude, it doesn't matter if we haven't talked to Jimmy or anybody in 4 or 5 years like that, man. Everyone has each other's back in this league. Everyone like kind of just looks out for each other. And that was one that Jordan was so pumped. So I just wanted a shout out Jimmy for that.
Yes, fact. Jimmy, that was a huge move on you. But like you said, man, it's at the end of the day, during the year, it's a dogfight. So many trades going on. Those buttons are getting pushed, things like that, where, people are getting a little angry at people, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, like you said, we're a damn good core group of friends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One last thing that's not pod related, but kind of pod related. Trevor, I texted you. I said I have a little thing for you, a little trivia question. 10 years ago, this was as of yesterday, because we were supposed to record yesterday, hand up, my fault. Anyways,
Live.
Trevor, yesterday, September 5th, 2013, what happened of significance of Feed the Need and fantasy football?
So 10 years ago, it's the 10th year anniversary of me winning the league. So that would mean that year, I want to say Peyton Manning did something extremely super good on beginning the first game of that season.
You are correct. I was literally doing my little pre-notes before, I was doing some research, and I saw this tweet, and it said 10-year anniversary, and I'm like, oh no, what is this? And it said Peyton Manning threw not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, seven. It also, I had to bring it up real quick just to see if you remember that, because could you imagine if your quarterback today threw for 7 touchdowns week 1, how hyped it would be?
You know what? I had the first overall pick that season. You know who it was?
It was Peyton Manning.
It was Peyton Manning.
In the words of the famous Dallas Wilkins, D Willie on YouTube. If you want to go subscribe to him, like his stuff, he's a good dude. In the words of D Willie, you cheated because you didn't tell everybody you changed the touchdown scores. But anyway, we're going to dive right into that.
Wasn't the commish. I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah. All right. So going into actual draft day now, so me and Trev, team pod here against Dallas and Tyler Daly. They wanted to play some little 2v2 scramble.
Oh yeah, that was a bad decision.
Yeah. You don't want it. I mean, unless if anybody in the league wants it besides Caleb, because Caleb and anybody is going to probably beat us. So Caleb, you're out of this.
Oh no, Caleb, come at it. Come at us. Caleb was talking shit last year about how he could take 3-on-1. That's including you, like against all of us. There is zero chance in hell. I played with Caleb earlier this year. He did okay. Like he did okay. Don't get me wrong. He probably shot 3 or 4 over in the 18 that I played with him. I guarantee you, me and you could kick Caleb's ass. Guaranteed.
I would like to agree, just because we're playing well right now. But the last time we played them, if I remember correctly, was Blackburn's bachelor party, and how'd that go?
We were wasted.
Yeah. Anyways, so we're going to this draft day at Daily Dallas. Sorry, man. You guys fucking.
Well, what did we win?
Kind of shows you guys
13 strokes, 14 strokes.
It was 11. It was 80. They shot an 82 in this 2-man scramble. Trev and I could have had a chance at a 69, but we missed literally back-to-back 4-foot birdie putts on hole 16, 17. Ended up birdieing 18 to get under par, but we had a chance to be a 69. That would have been sweet.
I just realized, what pick did I have in the draft?
Oh, wow. Look at you.
Hey, it's a sign.
But yeah, so it was a fun round. We ended up winning. It was kind of, just it was average, normal day stuff. And then, after the round ends, it's like go mode. It's like, okay, now it's football.
Oh, it was.
I mean,
go.
Now your brain's rolling. We still know our draft order. So now you're trying to think, like, shoot, like if I'm here, like what position do you think you had in the draft before we found out our
Oh, I didn't draft anywhere other than in third, all mocks. I was putting out to the universe that I wanted the top 5 pick, all whatever. And then obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah. It's crazy because that's one thing that we all talk about it every year about trying to, do the whole drawing of the names, figure out draft orders like a week before the draft, but like not knowing and then trying to show up to figure it out. And, all the anticipation, and you have to kind of prepare a little bit more, unless you're Garrett, because he doesn't prepare at all. But, it takes a little bit of preparation where you have to kind of know, like, where am I doing here? And then not only do you have to know, like, if you're in the front end of the draft of, if this happens, I got this, but what happens if that doesn't happen? But then if I'm at the end, there's just so much more to it, and it kind of makes the league a little bit harder than normal.
Oh, right. Oh, just heads up. Can you see behind me? I know it's backwards, but we do have the new poster up. The new poster is up.
Let's go. You're going to get married in 10 years, and your living room's just going to be like, instead of like the whatever
I have the last 7. I have the last 7. boards.
Well, see, you already got started. So you're going to have the whole living room just coated. But yeah, so coming into, so we finally get to Riches, it starts to really get going. We get everything kind of ready, prepped, and then we start pulling names out of the hat. So, I mean, if you follow along with the last video, if not, go back and rewatch it. But the way we did the draft order, it was so surreal. If you would have told me like the most ideal was like, okay, if you could give anybody in the league the first overall pick, who are you going to give it to? I'm going to say, hey, Jib Strong, let's go. Let's do it. He came in. Last year his team just couldn't get to break. He ended up 16. So now it's like, hey, everything going on. The dude's the nicest guy in the world.
Oh, right. And you want to know the coolest part about that was he was like the 6th name we pulled out of that hat. It was.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He was like the 6th, dude.
Yeah, we pulled
and he was the first one to get 1 through 4.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, because the very first one was Jimmy, right?
Yeah, the reigning champ. So
reigning champ gets drawn first and goes 9 through 12, worst spots.
Yeah,
and then I can't remember who was second. So I mean, but yeah, it went like Jordan was like 5 or 6.
Yeah, it worked.
And
out
so that's what was cool about it.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I'm kind of glad we did it that way. There's a little bit of more things. Like Jimmy got the very first name of the hat, got 9 through 12, and you think I'm going to pick 9, the earliest possible. You had a little strategy, you wouldn't pick 10. Maybe it backfired, little sneak peek. But anyways, it worked out, like stuff like that, and then it was kind of cool just to see how it all played out. Like,
absolutely. It was super different. It was. I mean, it wasn't actually way different, but it felt way different than what usually we do. And I got kind of ass fucked in the sense of I had to. Do you know who I draft in between? Did you know who I drafted in between?
Jimmy and Hunt.
Jimmy and Hunt.
Wow.
Just the two who have the most Feed the Need championships out of anybody. And I'm just smack dab in the goddamn middle of them.
Hey, Taylor Majors has 2, I believe.
What's Hunt have, 2?
1. Fuck, Hunt has 1. It was a Jimmy charity one.
Oh, okay. But still, I'm smack down between 5-time Feed the Need champions. And so I'm going into that draft at number 11, not confident. Not confident at all. But we'll see how it turned out.
Yeah. So anyways, come the draft time, it worked out. I had pick 6. It was nice. It was smooth. Even with Spencer like texting in his orders, it was nice. Also doing the draft, I was able to sign in with your account on my phone because I had service, and I was putting in names as we went on, and it was sweet because everybody could just go on the app and join, and it kept the rank of everybody there. They could see who's picked. So Spencer, being at the hospital still, was able to really follow along. So him just texting picks, he was there, but not really. So it was awesome. The draft, I feel, went very smooth. We had a little break in between. Nothing crazy happened besides Hunt drafting Kadarius Thomas. I don't know who that is, but every year the guy just throws out names. And by the way, why does he bring his friend with him? What is that? Like, is that his coach?
I'm not 100% sure. It's like I want to be that. I don't want to be the commish that says, "Hey, no boyfriends or girlfriends." Like I want to be that commish and be like that, but at the same time, Hunt needs it. I don't think he's ever been able to do a draft by himself, and so I kind of feel bad because he's like not mentally IQ like there, and so sometimes I don't want to be as mean as I can be.
Yeah. My biggest thing is Garrett used to bring a chick over, and we boycotted that. So just saying, boyfriend, girlfriend can't be.
Well, and give credit where it's due. He said he had 10 fantasy football teams.
That guy's smart.
Oh, he's smart as he would absolutely be a great addition to the league if we ever did add him. At the same time,
we can't with him and Hunt though.
Yeah, he'd have to replace Hunt.
He's a nice guy. Right. All right. With that being said, we've already had the pictures of the draft and the orders and all that stuff up here on the screen as we're going. So with that being said, we want to just start diving into these rankings and kind of describe how you're going to do this and go that route?
Yeah. So first week of rankings here, guys. I'm doing a little different. I'm just gonna talk about the top 4 draft grades that I gave out. Essentially, the top 4 teams I want to think who had the best drafts, because doing power rankings into week 1 is an absolute just. I mean, I don't have a clue about any of this anyway, and I'm telling you, I don't have a clue on how to do rankings before prior week 1. So I spent 5-6 hours over the last few days thoroughly going through everybody's team, everybody's just sleepers, all that good stuff, and I think I really came up with the 4 best drafts coming out of the draft, and the 2 drafts that I think they really missed the mark. And so I'm just going to go with that. I'm going to go with the top 4 teams who I think are probably going to win week 1 and have like the best chance to start off hot and feed the need. And then I'm going to go through the bottom 2 who really came out of that draft really needing help and needing some luck in order to get some wins. So I'm going to be doing it. And so without further ado, coming in at 4th with the 4th best draft grade, with a B+ that I graded him, it's going to be Trev Blackburn. Darren, you go ahead and name off his team for me.
Okay, earlier you said these 4 are going to win week 1. Fuck you, because I played Trevor this week, and that is not happening. But anyways, to read Trevor's team in the first round at pick 8, sorry, excuse me. Pick 8, he went Josh Jacobs. Round 2, Jahmyr Gibbs, Keenan Allen, Joe Burrow in the 4th, Godwin. So after Joe in the 4th, he went Godwin in the 5th. That's a Trevor Blackburn guy if I ever saw one. Michael Thomas, then Juju Smith-Schuster, Damian Harris, Kareem, free agent Hunt. He got his boys, even though he told me like a couple months ago he's not a Cowboys fan, which is just baffles me. But anyways,
Tank Dell. He wasn't a Cowboys fan?
Yeah. He took Tank Dell in the 11th. Tyler Higbee, I think, is keep that name in mind for down the road in the pod. And RB1 in the fucking hole. It should have been the number 1 overall draft pick, Zach Moss in the 13th. Go ahead, Trevor. What do you got?
I love that, Mood. So let me explain why I think Trev has a B+ draft grade and set himself pretty good for the season. So his first round pick, Josh Jacobs, at the 8th pick, I really don't think he had any other choice to go there. Josh Jacobs last year didn't miss a game. Okay, there are not a lot of running backs that you can say didn't miss a game last year. 4 30-point games. 4. That's super impressive. You know how many 20-point games he had, Mood? Why don't you put a number on it?
How many 20-point games he had last year? He was the overall RB1 last year. He had 4 30s. Are you counting the 30s and the 20s?
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 plus, I'd say 9.
9. Right on the money. He had 9 20-point games. Name another running back that's even close to that. I mean, there's not that many. And so for Trev to get someone like that, especially with an offense who's going to probably lean on him even more this year, hell yeah. I like that a lot for Trev. The next pick that I think he really stole on is Keenan Allen in the 3rd. Get these stats. Played 2 games in the first 10 weeks, okay? Not good. Just injury prone, I get that. Like I've yelled it in the podcast, I don't like injury prone players. But played 2 games the first 10 weeks. Weeks 10 through 18, completely healthy. Double digits every single week. And it was the week 18 number 1. You're going to tell me that kind of progression going into the next season and getting that kind of receiver in the 3rd round, I'll take that any day of the week. Hell yeah. Also, did you know Michael Thomas played last year?
Yeah, he did, but he's awful. You
know what his points were in the 3 games that he played last year, Moot? you know what they were?
I have no idea.
20, 16, and 7.
Okay.
7 targets a game, 15 and a half fantasy points a game. That motherfucker, 6th round wide receiver at 15 and a half points a game, and and you're telling me he has Derek Carr throwing to him now? That guy is one of the probably one of the biggest wild cards there is out there in the draft. Straight up, that guy, 3 games last year, didn't play for 2 seasons. Scores 15 and a half points a game, doesn't play for another 14, and he's back this year. It's like Josh Gordon written it, but he's actually good. So I like that. I like that a lot in the 6th round. And guess what? He drafted a starting running back in the 13th round. I mean, straight up, I'm not trying to be biased. I'm not trying to be anything. The motherfucker drafted Zach Moss, who didn't think was going to start in week 1, and ends up everything's pointing to where he's going to start, and he's going to be a pretty good flex play, getting in literally pick 13 of the draft. There is not another person that's starting someone in round 13. So for those reasons, I kind of like Trev.
That's a lie. That's a lie. My tight end is starting, and I picked him in the.
I hate you for that.
I say it, but I get you. Hey, his team is good. He has a lot of big names, but are those big names going to be healthy for the year? That's the biggest question.
Well,
the thing is, what fantasy football is such a fucking wild card? Who knows?
But, right, and I didn't even cut. I like Trev's team because of those proven people, but let alone, I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs or could be the running back of the future and a 2nd round pick. I mean, talk about him. Burrow, his 4th round pick's a stud. And Chris Godwin's been, proven the last 4 years. And Juju Smith-Schuster. So we'll see. Trev's got a great team.
No, yeah.
I'm here with Trevor Blackburn now. Let's hear about your team, Trev.
I was pick 8 in this draft. My first pick, Josh Jacobs, feel pretty good with that. Came back around with Jahmyr Gibbs, getting that 2-headed monster at the back. My wide receivers are a little old, but they should be some PPR monsters. I don't think I'll take last. I should probably finish in the top 4, I'd say. Week 1 projected high. Hot take, Jordan Hunt will finish 16th with his trash draft. His boyfriend should stay home next time, and maybe he should sit close to me.
All right, Trev. Well, I'm not going to take it personal that you decided to take the power rankings in your own hands, but I like your take. Thanks, Trev.
I took the power rankings?
And it just goes to show Blackburn's one of those guys. He's in the playoffs every year. He's won it a year. He lost to Jimmy last year. He's a known guy that's in feed the need that is going to have a team that doesn't beat itself. I mean, he's going to put up numbers, and you have to beat him in order to win.
Exactly my point.
Yeah.
And so
we're going to move on from pick 3 to for the number 3 to the number 3. Right. And you want me to introduce it, or do you want you to?
Go ahead, Mood. Go ahead. Who do I have as the number 3?
The number 3 in this is not my power rankings. I just want you guys all to know this. This is the Trevor Brown. Number 3 is Dallas Wilkins. Like we talked about in the last podcast, he caught the little playoff bug last year and got in. And now he's in the top 3 in power rankings. He started his draft off at pick 13.
14.
What? 14? And he was a little upset because it was so late and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, he came out with a pretty good lineup, obviously. In the first round, he went CeeDee Lamb. 2nd round, Devontae Adams. Alexander Madison. Mike Evans in the 4th. Brian Robinson in the 5th. Kyle Pitts, huge upside. Very unproven, not done anything. But Tank Bigsby, his guy, War Damn Eagle, I think is what it said. They got Zeke. Marvin Mims, his quarterback is Kirk Cousins in the 9th. Savon Ahmed, Leonard Fournette, if he signs somewhere, that could be huge for him. And then in Packers defense. Yeah.
So Dallas team, I gave him an A- draft, just one, a little quarter grade above Trev at a B+. And let me tell you a little bit about why I think that's the case. So Dallas's first pick was CeeDee Lamb at 14. Over 100 yards 9 times last year. Super impressive. I mean, that means essentially almost every single week that you're watching him, he's going over 100 yards, which is dope. 9 TDs. I'm almost double-digit TDs almost every week. He's going over 100 yards. 4 times he was over 20 points. For not going RB there at 14, which I understand, I don't mind the CeeDee Lamb pick there. In the second, he followed up with an even better wide receiver, in my opinion. I would have went Devontae and then CeeDee, but he gets Devontae 4 picks later, I'm sorry, played every single game last year. Going into this year, I would have pegged Davante Adams as injury prone, just because Jordan had him a few years ago and he kind of fucked him over because he was out for those 8 weeks or something like that. Just in my head, I always thought he was injury prone. Played every single game last year. Finished in the top 2 receivers, top 2, Derek, 6 motherfucking times. He's also. Everyone's saying he's got a new QB. He's got Jimmy Garoppolo throwing to him. Name the fucking difference between Jimmy Garoppolo and Derek Carr. I'm pretty sure Jimmy G has more playoff wins than a Derek Carr. So at the same time, I'm just new QB, same player, and it was proven. I'm pretty sure he went from Aaron Rodgers to Derek Carr and became an even better numbered receiver. And now he's doing it again, and people think it's not going to work. No, he's actually already proven that he can do it with another quarterback, and I think that was probably the best pick of the second round. I am absolutely in love with Davante Adams this year. And then his third pick, Alexander Mattison, is going to have the biggest workload in the NFL, and it's not even going to be close. He's going to touch the ball 30 times a game, and it's not even going to be close. Mark my words. I will put hands up and on the pod if he doesn't get 25 plus totes week 1. That guy's a stud. I think he drafted really well. And then I think his best pick was the 5th round with Brian Robinson. He got shot last year, guys. 3 weeks before the season, 2 weeks before the season started. Okay. He averaged, when he came back 6 weeks into the game after getting 6 weeks after getting shot, he averaged 17 carries a game. 8 of those 13, he carried the ball more than 20 times. So you're going to tell me he has 2 running backs that he got in the 3rd and the 5th round that are going to have 25 probably plus touches a game, and Brian Robinson's going to be twice as good as he was last year, and I had him all last year? Dude, kudos to Dallas. I think the only bad pick the little homer pick that he had was Tank Bigsby. But other than that, I love Zeke. Came out today that he was the goal line guy. He has the same job as essentially whoever the other guy that was in New England that just destroyed and had 20 touches. LeGarrette Blount. He's got that LeGarrette Blount role. I would be super pumped to have Zeke as a little flex play to have, hopefully maybe a touchdown to 2 touchdowns and 30, 40 yards plus some catching. Dude, I'm big fan of Dallas's team. Great draft, A-. Gonna win some games.
Yeah, I fully agree. I'm a Brian Robinson guy as well. I traded for him in the dynasty, so I'm right there with you. His team is, like you said, it's well-rounded. It's deep. And having Zeke in your flex, having Tank in your flex, I like Kyle Pitts, and I didn't even say anything about Mike Evans. Someone's got to catch the ball from Baker Mayfield, and Baker can throw touchdowns and all that stuff. Someone's got to catch the ball, and Mike Evans is going to be the guy there. So Dallas has got a great team. Yeah, agreed. All right, moving on to number 2. Yeah, down to number 2. This gentleman, I gave him an A grade, and Moody, go ahead and take it away for me. This will be yours truly, Jib Strong. He started off, obviously, the first pick of the draft. He had Christian McCaffrey, and then came back and went Najee Harris and Mark Andrews. And then he got a 3rd running back in the 4th round of Khalil Herbert, which is just crazy. He has all 3 of those nice running backs. And then it goes Terry McLaurin, Treylon Burks. And then he went another kind of little out of the north. He drafted a 2nd tight end in Dallas Goedert. The value there is just insane.
Insane.
Then he goes Alan Lazard, Jacoby Myers. His quarterback is Geno Smith, which sneakily last year was a top
4,300 yards, 30 touchdowns.
Yeah, and then now you have the addition of JSN on with Geno, which is crazy. You got the Pats defense. We all have nightmares when we play against the Pats defense because of Padak. Then they got Keontae Ingram and Cordarrelle Patterson in the 13th.
Right, and I think Cordarrelle is going to actually be super sneaky. Super sneaky.
Yeah.
I gave Jib an A grade. So just a recap: Trev B+, Dallas A-, Jib A. Okay, so almost the best draft that I think he could have possibly had in the position that he picked. So what I have with Jib, probably the biggest surprise, Moody. What do you think it was?
Wait, what was that?
What do you think the biggest surprise of the draft was? Mine
McCaffrey
was
the first round pick or first overall pick.
Absolutely. That is the biggest surprise of the draft for me because Jettis has been going one in every single draft I've been a part of. I haven't seen CMC go one time. So Jib's got one of the biggest set of balls out of any of us. I think he knew exactly what he wanted going in. Like he wanted to know. I think he absolutely knew what direction he wanted to build his team in, which is, I think a lot of people didn't go into the draft. And so he wanted a running back. Do you think McCaffrey missed a game last year getting traded? Do you think
he didn't.
Do you think he missed any time?
Say he
No,
got traded
the
on, like, a
motherfucker
Monday,
didn't.
And then
He didn't miss a single game. Okay,
yeah,
he carried.
He got traded on a Monday.
He didn't have a game where he carried less than 10 times, even though getting traded. He was the top 5 8 times. Top 5 running back 8 times. Production, and that was with production of only averaging 14 carries and 5 receptions. You think he in his second year with San Francisco, he's going to have more than 14 carries and 5 catches a game? I absolutely think so. And so, dude, CMC, if he avoids the injury bug, knock on wood, holy hell, I'm super excited. I love that pick. And he knew exactly what he was doing because he followed it up with Najee Harris, who averaged 16 carries and 2 receptions. So another essentially 20 a week guy of getting 20 essentially touches a game, 10 total touchdowns. He's the workhorse. He's the number one, and there's no one even there at Jaylen Warren. But I would say that half of fantasy football people don't even know who Jaylen Warren is. So the cool thing about Najee Harris, though, super consistent, Moody. Get this. Finished under 10 points 3 times. Finished over 20 points twice.
He's just sitting right there. He's getting 10 points.
Essentially, he was under 10 3 times, and he was over 20 twice. That means in 13 games, he played every game, and or 12 other games, he was between 10 and 20. Model consistency. Gets a touchdown, gets 70 yards, will be that 13 to 15 a week guy every single week. Love that for a second-round pick. His third-round pick, I would obviously the second best tight end with Mark Andrews. Love Mark Andrews. When Lamar Jackson and him were fucking clicking at the beginning of last season, he looked like he was better than Travis Kelce.
Who was the number one drafted? Who was drafted? Who was the first tight end drafted in Feed the Need last year?
Mark Andrews.
Bingo. Because of that.
Right. So he started his first 6 games, 8, 20 plus, 20 plus, 3, 20 plus, 20 plus. That's Mark Andrews. That's his ceiling. And those 20 pluses, there was a 30, there was a 28. Like, this guy was on fucking fire. What kind of gets me a little less hard about it is he ended the season after those first 6 weeks 0, 5, 9, 9, 7, 3, 5, 6, 15.
Lamar missed a lot of time.
Lamar missed time. Me and him actually had this argument today. Lamar went out in week 12. And so he did those first 6 weeks. He did good. 7 through 11 with Lamar, though, he wasn't quite there. So there was something there. Lamar was obviously hurt and all that stuff. So all I'm saying is that he needs Mark Andrews to be that first 6 weeks guy and not that middling tight end 15 that he was after.
Yeah.
Okay. And then probably his sneakiest pick, Khalil Herbert in the 4th. Massive role. It's going to be a 30-touch week guy again. Only game with 20-plus carries last year. Guess how many points he finished with?
No idea.
35.
I'm not a Khalil Herbert guy.
35. So he's had one career game with 20-plus carries. He finished with 35 points, and that's going to be his every game role this year. So super sneaky. Watch Khalil Herbert. The rest of Jib's team, Scary Terry's playing now. He dropped in boards, and now he's coming out and he's playing. So hell yeah, Scary Terry in the 5th is a great pick. Traylon Burks in the 6th, love it. Him being on the opposite side of DeAndre, it's going to be like him in Hollywood, like the Hollywood or like the Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins scenario. I think Traylon Burks gets a lot of work because of that. Dallas Goedert's a stud. Lazard is with a new, obviously, same with Aaron Rodgers, but a new team. So Jordan has some great players. I think he did a great job in the first 7 picks. He probably had the best draft. So good job, Jordan.
Agreed. My biggest thing is one thing about Jib's team is how our league is set up. We have 2 receivers, 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, running back, tight end flex, 1 wide receiver, tight end flex. So 99% of the league, we all know how it is. Tight end positions in this league suck. If you don't have the top 5 guys, it's irrelevant. It's awful.
Yeah.
So, with the changes we made this year of kind of, like I said, this league is a huge money league. It's worth a lot of money. It's worth a lot of bragging rights. I want nothing more than have my name on that trophy. So if you're wanting to win, you got to float with that line. You got to think outside the box. You can't just be cookie cutter. So Jim getting Dallas Goedert to top 6, 7 tight end, and now instead of Jib starting, he only has to start 2 receivers a week because he has his 3 running backs and he has the 2 tight ends. So he only has to start 2 receivers. That is it, 2.
Yep.
So if you're elite everywhere else and you have just 2 receivers, yeah, you might be weak in that position, but guess what? You're strong everywhere else. You just have to have 2 decent guys. I like it. It's outside the box. It's creative.
Oh, dude. And the fact that he has Jacoby Myers, who is back with Josh McDaniels in Las Vegas, I think that's going to be super sneaky. And then he has that Ingram rookie running back in Arizona, who James Conner can go down because he might be the biggest injury-prone running back there is in football. And all of a sudden that they have Josh Dobbs, who I don't even know who that is, as their quarterback. And then so Conner goes down, all of a sudden Ingram's a 30-pack a week guy. So just like Jordan has, and then Cordell Patterson. I love Jordan's team. Straight up. Love it.
Okay, going on to the top number 1 overall pick or draft, whatever. I don't even want to be here for this. You guys just want to fast forward. I'll put a little thing up right here that says fast forward this far. Trevor, take it away.
So I feel like that's kind of bullshit to talk to your co-host like that. But at the same time, I can't not be honest with myself. I don't like to think that I'm better than everyone or have just I was feeling it in draft day. So without further ado, I give the best draft grade, the best chance of the feed the need championship going into week 1, I believe, is myself. I gave myself an A+ draft grade. And Derek, why don't you go ahead and run through my team?
You want me to waste my time? Okay. Anyways, Trevor, his dog shit team, went Derek Henry's first round, good pick. Second round, Joe Mixon. I like that. Third round, he doubled down with or tripled down. He picked Miles Sanders in 3rd. We started off hot. You did well. And then your Ciroc set in. You went your wide receiver 1, DeAndre, 47-year-old Hopkins. And then you doubled down again and went, I like guys like that missed a lot of games. I'll take Hollywood Brown. And then you get another guy called Gabe Davis in the 6th. a decent pick in the 6th. Got a tight end in Evan Ingram. That's not bad. And then your quarterback. How is this not a dumpster fire team? Your quarterback is Anthony Richardson, whatever. Rashad Bateman, which is nice. Eagles defense, you took the defense in the 9th round. Devin Singletary, cool, good backup. Zamir White, and then your sleeper, Alec Pierce. Go ahead and tell them how you have the best draft, but please go ahead.
I absolutely will. Thanks for that extravagant intro to my team, Moody. Really appreciate that. So let me explain why I have the best draft. Because I got Derrick Henry at 11. Okay. He finished the top 5 7 times in the first 14 weeks. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if that's good or not, but I'll take a top 5 running back every other week for the first, essentially all season. Joe Mixon, 14 carries a game, but which wouldn't think that's good, right? Did you know that Joe Mixon was the second most targeted running back in the league last year? Oh, you didn't know that. He had 4 receptions a game. He was the top 10 7 times. Okay, so those are my first 2 picks. So you can't, don't get me wrong.
I didn't say nothing bad about those guys. I said your first 3 are
Miles Sanders. This is where I think is probably my worst pick, was Miles Sanders. But a lot of people like him. Boomer bust, one of the biggest boomer bust players in the NFL. He was the top 10 5 times. Great. Top 10. He was actually number 1 in one of those weeks. So super good. Bottom 48 times. So, new team. I'm hoping we get a lot more boom than some bust in Miles Sanders. But this is where I think everyone thinks I had a good first 4 picks, but then everyone thinks my team went a little haywire.
I said
right?
3. First 3.
I'm saying I've talked to other people, Moody. You can say 3. I think most people think DeAndre Hopkins is a good pick there. Week 7 through 12, when DeAndre came back because he was suspended, those 6 games. You know what he averaged? 7 through 12. You know what he averaged?
What?
18.5 points a week. Oh, but yeah, he's washed up. 100% washed up. You're 100% right. And he doesn't have a better thrower throwing to him or anything like that. Ryan Tannehill. He doesn't have a proven, a Pro Bowl quarterback who's made it twice to the Pro Bowl or anything like that. But yeah, you're 100% right. DeAndre Hopkins is washed up and he's trash. All right, let me go to the next person on my team, Hollywood Brown. You want to know what his stats were the first 6 weeks of the season last year?
Without Nuck, yes. What is it?
You want to know? Does he have Nuck this year? Oh, that's right. He doesn't.
He has Josh
so
Dobbs.
You want to know what his stats were, right?
Dobbs.
Before he got hurt? You want to know the first 7 weeks of the season? He was 20 plus 4 times. Okay, so you guys, you can talk shit about Nuck and Hollywood all you want. All I know is my first essentially 7 picks are the most proven people out of anyone in this league. Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Miles Sanders, DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, Gabe Davis, who's caught 3 touchdowns in 3 different games. 3 different fucking games. And Evan Ingram, because you know what Evan Ingram did last year? He only had a fucking 40-point burger as a tight end. Okay, so you can talk shit all you want. My first 7 picks are the most proven people in this league, and it's not even close. And then I go with Anthony Richardson, who literally has everyone's been saying he has the biggest arm out of anyone that got drafted, and he runs a 4.40. So I'm getting Lamar Jackson flashbacks, RG3 flashbacks. If he has anything like one of those first 2 rookie seasons, you guys aren't even competing in this league this year. So just saying, I don't want to talk my team up too bad or I guess too much. But I think I obviously went in with a idea and a plan, and I drafted 7 to 8 people that are extremely proven, that have been in the top 10 of their positions almost every year for the past 4 years, and I think I'm ready to start just week 1 hot and rolling.
Who do you play week 1?
Creamers. I'm scared. Garrett.
Who?
Garrett.
Oh,
Super scared. Garrett
hey,
seems
by the
really
way,
good.
I'll be realistic with you. I like your team. Don't get me wrong. I just gotta play devil's advocate because
Yeah, of course.
it's fun. I do like your team a whole lot. I do. Having 2 Titans on your team is a little bit just.
I agree.
Scary for me. It's a little scary for me. I don't like. It's one of my things when I come into fantasy football. I don't like having a receiver, running back of the same team on my team. It's one of those things that just like weirds me out.
Right.
But with that being said, it's fine. I think one of your steals of the draft was pick 9. Getting Rashad Bateman at pick 9. I think that's huge because we talked about, I mean, if you go back to last year's pods and listen, we talked when you do our power rankings of what separates the tier 4 teams or tier 5 spank teams to the number ones is the length of the lineup. So now you have like your 4th best Rashad Bateman. That's huge. I mean, I'm not saying Rashad Bateman's end all be all got it fantasy football. What I'm saying is when it comes to a 16-team fantasy football, it's a different ball game. It's not a 12-teamer to where you're starting like you're trying to decide if you want to start fucking Christian Watson or George Pickens. Those are for sure starts every single week. Like you look as we're going to next is the 2 worst drafts. You'll see like those flex options are not going to be like you have
agree.
Miles Sanders and you have Gabe Davis, Rashad Bateman. Which one of those 2 do you want to play that week? Match up, do whatever you want. And that's why. And like I agree. Like Nuck, I give you crap about all the time. Nuck Hopkins, that guy is he can catch a football. In the fuck with ice on his hands. That guy is phenomenal.
Well, that too, and he came out last year saying like he would step away from football if he wasn't the best receiver on the field. Like, and so that's why I still trust
the best receiver in the league. I know.
Well, I don't think he's in the league anymore, but I think at most days he's the best receiver on the field still.
Agreed. Oh yeah, I was just mocking that video of that assistant coach. Yeah, Nuck, I just want to say, man, you're the best in the game. That is the most Trevor Blackburn or not Trevor Blackburn, the most Trevor Brown player in fantasy football I've ever seen.
Oh, he's the best.
Okay, I'm here with Dallas. He's got a question about what I just said. Go ahead.
I just have judging by your analysis of your roster, if you know now that your team is as bad as it is, why did you make the picks that you made? Because they're all bad.
I'd have to disagree with you, Dallas. Though I just said my picks were bad, I also think my picks were good. So I am allowed to be hypocritical because I am the podcast creator / co-host. Thank you.
Yeah. But all right, with that being said, those are the top 4. Teams 5 through 14 can go fuck themselves this week.
I agree.
Nothing to it. You're just
didn't have a good enough draft to get talked about on the pod. Sorry about it. I do think it's a nice segue to we do have some reactions that we recorded in the pod, and so we will be sprinkling reactions throughout the pod, or if like there's one section, I'm not exactly sure on how we're doing that yet, but
we'll
there will be.
In now, we interviewed a lot of the league, and we've interviewed a bunch of people we've already talked about. So we'll throw them in as we go. We'll put the rest of them in right now.
You're not like videotaping.
All right, here we are with Mr. Garrett Driver. Get a few tidbits about his team. Go ahead, Garrett. How do you feel about how'd your draft go?
Well, out of the hat, I chose to draft 5th out of our 16-man league here. And I decided to go with Nick Chubb at that 5 spot. It felt like a pretty good pick in front of Barkley and Bijan, maybe not play Robinson. And some other picks. Yeah, that's my take. Alligator season.
So you don't think Jamal Williams is a trash pick?
In my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, my 7th spot, Jamal Williams being a bad pick?
Right, I'm pretty sure he's a starter.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yes, I'll take that. Yeah.
All right, I love it, Garrett. Attaboy.
Yeah, but Josh Allen my 2nd, Aaron Jones my 3rd.
All right. Thanks, Garrett. All right, I'm here with Uncle Rich.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Let's hear about your how you like your team, Rich.
Well, we're going to find out real soon because I got Hunt first, beat him by about 50, and I'm going to move on from there. I think we're going $50 on that first game. Isn't that right, Hunt? I think so. But it won't even be close. You look at my running backs, value, got them. You look at my last wide receiver, Hunter Renfrow, went for 1,000 yards just 2 years ago. Tell me you don't remember him.
100% agree.
Yeah, he's my worst wide receiver.
Yeah, no.
What the hell? Let's trade him out for Hopkins.
100%.
You want to do that trade right now? I'll send it to you.
I probably won't do that, but I do love your team, Rich. I love the confidence, and we'll see how it works out for you.
Sweet.
All right, we're here with Caleb Knutson. Let's hear about your draft, brother.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I take Justin Jefferson, number 2 overall, and he's already off my fucking team. So, yeah. I traded him and Michael Pittman, who I got in the end of the 5th, let's be real, for Taylor Majors, number 1 and 2. First and second round, Garrett Wilson and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I feel pretty good. That's the only trade I'm making all year. We can come back to this.
Future spoiler alert, boys. Caleb Knutson will be in the bottom 4th tier of
and have the highest buy-in of everybody next year. You're welcome.
Thanks,
okay.
Caleb.
Yep.
All right, Dell. Just like every year, your team is completely different after the draft. You already traded your first and second round picks for the number 1 overall, pretty much in every consensus, Justin Jefferson. So your team looks a little different. How do you feel?
I feel great, to be honest. I really wanted a top 5 pick this year, especially top 2. I really wanted Justin Jefferson. I mean, I think he's just going to be the number 1 best player in fantasy. So I just chose to give up, first 2 picks to get Justin Jefferson, the best fantasy player, and then Michael Pittman, who is still the number 1 wide receiver on his team. A lot of, up in the air about his quarterback, but I still believe in the talent. So I just chose to take that gamble for the number 1 fantasy player. I feel good about it.
I fully agree. The value of having Justin Jefferson is astronomical. I mean, its value just is too much. You get trade value all the way down the road. So
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Thank you, everybody, again, for those interviews, those brief, quick little just tidbits. It's kind of nice to just bring everybody into this thing. It's a kind of group effort. So, again, thank you. With that being said, now we're going to kind of get to the dog crap teams. Remind you, this isn't my rankings. This isn't mine. I'm not the ranking guy. That guy is. So, that being said, the number 15, the second worst draft of the league is who? I don't know these yet. I don't know them. Just say it.
So, I didn't want to go through everyone's draft or anything like. So I'm not trying to turn over a new leaf in a sense. I don't want to be the guy that just only talks shit, even though I'm best at it. But anyway, I'm given 2 worst draft grades, and these 2 are pretty obvious to me. If you're just looking across and on draft day, I would say that I probably talked to at least 5 or 6 people that agreed with me. And so without further ado, I think the second worst draft grade was, unfortunately, Mr. Moody.
Are you fucking kidding me?
My co-host. And let me explain. So I'm going to go through his team. So he drafted Saquon Barkley, DK Metcalf.
Pick 6.
He did have pick 6. Saquon Barkley, DK Metcalf, DeAndre Swift, Justin Fields, Jonathan Taylor, Elijah Moore, Quentin Johnson, Deion Jackson, Tajee Spears, Nakua, John Mechie, the LA Chargers D, and Juwan Johnson, the tight end from New Orleans. So I really like your first pick, Mood. Don't get me wrong. But after that, unfortunately, I think that's where your team falls. So I think so Saquon Barkley, he's been pretty injury prone. He's been hurt, but he's done really well before he gets hurt. So I really hope Saquon Barkley has finally just that season from his his rookie season where he's just healthy all year and is the number 1 running back in fantasy. I think he can absolutely do that, and I think the Giants are there. So I like that. Unfortunately, that's where it stops. I don't like another pick that you made the rest of the draft. And let me explain. DK Metcalf, I think Geno's in for a regression year. He didn't play for, everyone forgets that he didn't play football for 8 years. Like, in a sense, like he was just a backup. Like, everyone just forgot about him. And the fact he came out and threw for 4,300 yards and 30 touchdowns, I love. But in order to do that again, that's like, that's how he proves if he's a good quarterback or not. So, like, I like DK, but at the same time, I do not trust Geno very much. And so that's kind of like a question mark to me. So, like, even though I don't like it, it's not a bad second round pick. You could have done worse. So your first two are okay, but then that's where it falls apart. DeAndre Swift in the third. I don't like how he's just been injury prone since day one. He only had, there was like 4 or 5 games last year in Detroit where he only carried the ball 3 or 4 times, but somehow ran for 40 yards and a touchdown to really boost up his numbers. Don't know really how that happened. And then he goes to Philly, and I'm hearing things like he's not a very good teammate. He's not, stuff like that. So it's all just kind of hearsay and stuff like that. But DeAndre Swift there's a lot of question marks, and so I don't like. Justin Fields, Chicago, I think is one of the worst teams. I think that offense is going to have a tough time. They're going to give it to Khalil Herbert a lot. It's going to be fucking a lot of dunking dives. Maybe he runs it in, but he's not. I don't think he's a top 5 QB for a 4th round QB pick. I don't think that's good. Jonathan Taylor, my feeling on that. I think it's another Lev Bell situation. I don't think he plays this year. I know it's different and all that stuff, but for whatever reason, drafting someone who's not playing for the first essentially 4 weeks and then not knowing after that is tough, and especially in the 5th round. Elijah Moore, I didn't even realize he got picked up by Cleveland, and so him being the number 2 against Amari, it's okay. But Deshaun Jackson didn't really take that step I wanted him to last year. Hopefully he does it this year. Quentin Johnson, who is also another starter on your team as your wide receiver 3, is the 4th, maybe 5th option in LA. I mean, probably 4th behind Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and probably their tight end. So, he's probably their 4th option. So I don't like it. Your backup running back is Deion Jackson, who's not starting, and your other running back is Tajee Spears, who doesn't start, and Nakua, who doesn't really start, and John Mechie, who doesn't really start, and your last pick is your only other starter in Juwan Johnson, which is a sleeper. But like I said, your team's going to struggle, I think, to score points, and that's why I have you ranked in the bottom 2.
Hey, no disrespect. I don't care. But just some of your talking points here. Justin Fields, there's a lot of the consensus guys out there saying that he has the ability of being the number 1 overall fantasy football quarterback in all of football with his rushing upside and his arms getting better. So I will take that tremendous upside. It was kind of the last guy in the top 5 or 6 7 quarterbacks, whatever it is. After that, it went down to Trevor Lawrence. It has not shown any consistency. Right. So it's kind of one of those things is like the last guy in that tier. I absolutely love Justin Fields. I can't wait to watch him every Sunday. DK, man, I listened to 2 podcasts today, and both of them were like, this is week 1, but he plays against the Rams twice. Yes, they have Aaron Donald, but that defense is trash. Those corners are awful. He plays the Rams twice, the Cardinals twice. Hawks have a pretty easy schedule this year. Geno, you might be down on him, but I'm all for it, man. And now you have a little bit of attention going away with Jackson Smith and JSN just to make it easy. And then Tyler Lockett is still there too. So it's I love the DK right there, man. There's right behind the next 2 receivers were Devontae Smith. I love Devontae Smith, but Devontae Smith and T. Higgins were both right after that. But I just traded both of them in the dynasty, so I just couldn't do it. I love DK, man. 2 years ago, I had him on my team, and it was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Loved it. Elijah Moore, man. You said earlier the name Will Fuller. I love Elijah Moore because think about this, a couple years ago, I was at the game in Seattle, Deshaun Watson with the Houston Texans. He had Hopkins and he had Will Fuller. And I want to say they put up like 50 points that game because Deshaun Watson just went off.
Used to
And
love
Deshaun
watching Will
Watson
Fuller.
Yeah. So I think that Elijah Moore's going to have that Will Fuller role to where he's not gonna be the huge 13 catches for $175. He's going to have that.
He's pretty speedy, Elijah Moore.
Yeah, he's just shifty, man. And then he played one in the first preseason game. The very first play of the game, they were trying to give him on a reverse sweep. So he's
I just remember Will Fuller being just running past
fast as
defenses.
fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Elijah
Catching
Moore
60-yard bombs and then hurting his knee when he catches the ball.
Yeah, but Elijah Moore, I feel like he's just going to be the guy that they're just going to give him the ball, and now Nick Chubb doesn't have Kareem there to kind of give him that. So when Nick Chubb does go out of the game, I think it's going to just kind of open up the playbook just a slight bit more, where they're going to have to get the ball to two other people. They can't just rely on just turning around, handing it to Kareem and Nick Chubb all game long. They're going to have to kind of open it up, and I think that's a lot where Elijah Moore gets a lot of looks. DeAndre Swift, man, everybody dogs on me on this pick. I'm not saying it's a great one. Ever since I've done it, it's kind of been just like, fuck, did I do that right? But like, dude, I'm high on Andrew Smith or Swift. I'm high. I'm not saying, and remind you, I'm not saying he's going to be the next fucking Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, nothing like that. But remember those games you had with Miles Sanders when he played for the Eagles? You remember all those tremendous upside games? I'm not saying.
Like I said, the boomer bust aspect of Miles Sanders is probably coming to DeAndre Swift.
Bingo. And I personally think that DeAndre Swift has more upside than Miles Sanders. I think DeAndre Swift is a freak fucking athlete. He just kind of, tweaks his ankle here or there. And then the Lions, they love Jamal Williams. They're weird there. So, yes, he didn't get as much as he could have there. But him going behind the best offensive line in the whole NFL and Jalen Hurts, I personally do not think that he's going to be running the ball like he used to. He's a $400 million guy now. You think they're going to be handing him the ball in weeks 1 through 6 in the regular season when they're going to have playoff Super Bowl hopes? I don't think so. So I'm not saying, remind you, I'm not saying he's going to be the next crazy fucking guy. I just think as an RB2, and remind you, I did a move 2 picks later to kind of protect myself. Yes, Jonathan Taylor in the 5th round, remind you, he was the number 1 overall pick last year. Number 1. I'm not saying that he's going to come back and everything's fine. I think he's going to get traded. I think he's going to end with a week he comes back on. He's going to be a top 6 running back. I got him in the 5th round. So now what I'm saying is now that I got those Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, and Swift, as Swift is my RB3, I'm as happy as all hell with that. Yes, it's a lot of hope. I deserve full-heartedly being in this bottom 2. I agree. But like going back to your team compared to my team, my 2 freaking flex options right now, I have Quentin Johnson, like you said. Like what am I going to do here? Yes, I like the guy. He's a huge hopeful rookie. And Keenan Allen is still there. Mike Williams is still there. It is a homer pick, man. Hand up. I'm a Chargers fan.
Oh, you wore the jersey. You wore the jersey there, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, I go Ducks, go Justin Herbert. But then, like Deion Jackson. Yes, Blackburn. Fuck you. Fuck Zach Moss. Jimmy, fuck you. Fuck Evan Hall. Fuck you all. It doesn't matter. That Colts offense is dog shit. Who fucking cares? No, I don't. Deion Jackson is nowhere part of my team. If Deion Jackson could just give me 6 points a week, 6 weeks 1 through 4, he gives a fuck. You can take Zach Moss and fuck right off.
Bang!
Thank you.
Love that.
Anyway,
Cowboy mood.
That's my team. It's dog shit. Yes.
No, like I said, everything has a chance, and that's a good segue to go into, I think, who had the worst draft. And there might have been issues of why this person had the worst draft. Who knows? Unfortunately, actually, it's not unfortunate. I'm super happy about it. I am super pumped to announce this year's Shitburger draft. Okay? Because this guy has been a thorn in my fucking side for every goddamn year that Feed the Mood has been in existence. And I'm talking about one of the maybe one of the only other OG members fucking from year one. Jimmy Cook. Jimmy Cook had the worst draft. Okay, and let me explain why. His a team goes Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Breece Hall, Deontay Johnson, Watson from Green Bay, George Pickens, Jerry Jeudy, Kane, Kendra, I don't know, fucking Miller from New Orleans, Rondell Moore, Evan Hole, Saints, and Dalton Schultz. Dude, I can't even. Okay, I'm just gonna go. This team really frustrates me because I don't understand. Jimmy's been so good at fantasy football forever, so I don't understand really what happened. So Travis Kelce at 1, in the first round at the 10th pick. Travis Kelce was going 5 in drafts, in like 12-man drafts. So like I really don't mind that pick. Okay. But if you do tight end in the first round, I don't think you can go QB in the second, and that's where he fucked up. Yeah, he wanted Patrick Mahomes and the Kelce combo. At the same time, it's not worth it. Like, Patrick Mahomes is going to get you his own points, and there's going to be some weeks where he doesn't throw to Kelce, and there's going to be some weeks where he throws to other people. Like, so having hookups, I think, is a little overrated in my opinion. I think he can get just as many points if he has Travis Kelce and then drafts a super good player like a position player in the second round and gets a QB maybe in the third. Like he gets like Lamar Jackson or someone who's going to be good. I don't know. But he gave up too much equity in the second round pick in Mahomes here, because then he picks Breece Hall in the third. And just my opinion, Dalvin Cook being a top essentially 5 running back for the last 5-6 years being drafted in our league isn't going to New York to be backup fiddle to a guy who tore his ACL last year. It's not happening. So
that's exactly what you said. I had Breece Hall last year, and he was saving my season, and then he tore his ACL. And remind you, coming off, some guys don't come off the ACL injury and play well until well after a full calendar year plus. He's less than a full calendar year. He's like 10 months
you
out.
know who also tore their ACL after 1,000-yard after 2,000-yard seasons back to back?
J.K. Dobbins.
No, Marlon motherfucking Mack.
Oh,
was he ever the same?
Rip.
Well, no, and this is being serious. This is like me, like not being a Marlon Mack homer. That guy was a 1,000-yard rusher 2 years in a row, tore his ACL, never got another chance. Never even. So, like Breece Hall in the third, no, I did a horrible pick. Deontay Johnson, does he forget that he has Kenny Pickett thrown to him? He don't throw touchdowns.
My favorite thing about the Deontay Johnson pick is he doesn't just, like you said, Kenny Pickett throwing the ball. He goes, I like Kenny Pickett. I'm doubling down and take George Pickens.
Oh, yeah, dude. So Deontay Johnson, yeah, Jordan Jib came to me and was just like, he led the league in targets last year, right? And I was just like, because Kenny Pickett's horrible. Like, absolutely dog trash. And I don't think most QBs don't take a step up in their sophomore year. They kind of even regress a little bit. Usually they have a decent rookie year, regress a little bit, and take that third step in that, in their third year when the speed comes down a little bit for them. So Deontay Johnson, horrible. Christian Watson, Green Bay, I don't know his first name. Christian?
That's right.
Christian Watson. Really don't know much about him, to be perfect. He was with Green Bay last year with Aaron Rodgers, and he didn't really do anything. So I don't expect him to do anything with Jordan Love. I mean that's just me. I mean he's picking players that have been in the league and haven't really even proven themselves. Like Deontay Johnson's had good games, cool, but now he has Kenny Pickett thrown to him. Christian Watson, Jordan Love, Pickens, Pickett, Jerry Jeudy, Russell Wilson. Like, he might have the worst quarterbacks throwing to his receivers, and he doesn't have good receivers in the first place. So, I mean,
the worst part about his team is he has essentially 4 backup running backs that are his RB1 and RB2. And that's the thing is, every year in Feed the Need, there's a team like this that have just no running backs because in 16 teams, think about it. If you have 3, I have 3. Bro, there's 32 teams in the NFL. There's only 16 of us. There's going to be teams like this that are just like, well, shit. Now what do I do?
Right, exactly. And I think that's what happened with Jimmy. I think he really fucked up with picking his draft really went sideways when he picked Mahomes in the second round, and it fucked his whole strategy up the whole time. And now with Kelsey being out, let me just read you his team when Kelsey's out, okay? Patrick Mahomes, Breece Hall, Deontay Johnson, Christian Watson. Pick one between Pickens, Judy, O'Kane, Miller, and then Dalton Schultz.
He has to start Devon Akinney, Kendry Miller, or Evan Hull. He has to start one of those every single week because that's his RB2.
Right.
That's serious.
Right. And Miller has a job for 3 weeks, maybe. I mean, Jamal Williams is there. So it's just like Kendry Miller, like, might not even be good. Like, might be a 3-point-a-week guy the first 3 weeks. Like, who knows if Jamal Williams comes out and it's just the guy there for the first 3 or 4 weeks, or they sign Kareem, or they do anything. So, Jimmy, love you, brother, but I am super pumped that you had the absolute shitburger draft of Feed the Need 12.
But the thing is, though, with Jimmy, like, everybody in the league agrees with you. It's like, fuck, this guy's won 4 of the 10 that he's been in, man. There's 40% chance to win the fucking league. 40.
Yeah, disgusting.
So just like, thank you. Give us all a chance. But the thing is, the dude,
hand up. That's
smart,
why
man.
I'm ranking him 16 because I can finally talk shit about his team for once. Like, I don't get to do it very often. So hands up.
But the thing is with Jimmy, look at his draft last year. One of the things that really carried him to that title, I was literally just looking at it as you were talking. In last year's draft, where is it? Right here. He went Dalvin Cook, Kelsey, Deontay Johnson, Waddle, Jalen Hurts, Drake London. Okay, that was his first 6 picks. He still hasn't got a second running back. He took James Cook. Okay, whatever. Khalil Herbert, Tyler Algier, Deontay Foreman. You know what Deontay Foreman, Tyler Algier, Khalil Herbert, James Cook all did last year? They were fucking serviceable for him. So all I'm saying is this whole this whole Dion, the Evan Hull, the Zach Moss crap, if I had money, I would say, well, Jimmy did it again. Evan Hull's backfield. I mean, it's just, he has that knack. It's annoying as shit, but he has that to where he just gets things that fall right into him. And does he study more than us? Does he just know more? Does he just get lucky? Whatever it is, I'm happy as shit he's number 16 because we can say that for now. And I hope to God we can have him in tier 4 for the first couple weeks just to have him there because we never have. So, Jimmy, sorry, but I'm happy right now.
All right. The reigning champ, the 4-time Jimmy. How you feel?
Shitty.
I mean, I understand, but you have Kelsey and Patty, picks 1 and 2.
Yeah, no, I feel okay about it. Didn't think Kelsey was going to be there at 10. That was the first name drawn out of the hat. Was really hoping for a 1 through 4 pick. Instead, I got a 9 through 12, so I was the first person to choose, and I picked pick number 10. Feel good about the Kelsey Mahomes stack. Was really eyeing Olave almost all morning, but decided to reach a little bit on Mahomes to stack up.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, every year I feel like you always have like one spot that kind of always hits it for you in waivers. So your running back position is a little weak right now, but I mean, with all people in the league, I feel like you'd be the one to kind of fill that out. What was your strategy going to Steelers?
Well, I didn't like the remaining running backs that were there, and I think George Pickens is a big name in this league. I think I can probably upsell by around volume or around in value. I really like Christian Watson as well, that I was able to snag the pick before, and I was comfortable trading either of those two and having some depth. Kenny Pickett's trash. I understand that, but he is going to throw the ball. And about my running backs, my bold prediction is Evan Hull, after 4 weeks, is going to have more points in half-point PPR than Deion Jackson.
You know, with me having Deion, I highly disagree with you, but I'm a 0-time champ. You're a 4-time.
fair enough. I do like your team. I'm predicting a top 4 or 5 finish for you as well, regular season. So good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you, sir.
Hell
Also,
yeah.
you can have Jonathan Taylor whenever you send that to me. Anyways, moving right along here, we're going to go into away from a little feed the need here. We're going to just go into a little fantasy talk. Okay. We're going to go into a little bit of a sleepers aspect, like who we think this week is going to have a big week. A little much under communication between Trevor and I. I thought we were just picking guys that weren't drafted very high, not like the, hey, if Saquon Barkley's good, he's going to have a good week. I took it as that. Hey, these guys are like our wide receiver 2s, RB2s, the third tier quarter, whatever. That's how I took it. Trevor took it as like the waiver wire for this. But anyways, I'll start off first because I have 3, you have 2. I'm more prepared. I actually have 4. But anyways, my number 1 sleeper of the week is Raheem Mostert. That guy is playing against the Chargers defense. My Chargers. They're god-awful at stopping the run. They fucking suck at stopping the run. I could probably go rush for 100 yards against them. You throw that into play, Jeff Wilson's still hurt. Ahmed is coming off a back injury. He's not going to touch the ball much. McKinney, we already talked about him on Jimmy's team. Who cares? Mostert's going to get like 20 touches, and he's going to break off. He's going to have that first touchdown of the day on Sunday at like 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:05. And he's going to have that 75-yard fucking touchdown. He does it every year. Raheem Mostert.
That is true.
Big,
Very
big
true.
week.
Yeah, week 1, Mostert. I agree.
Yep. All right, your turn. What you got? Who's your sleeper?
Okay, my I have 2. Like you said, I went a little bit deeper. It's like if anybody somehow is watching this and is in a 16 and they're struggling with like a wide receiver option, or something like that, they need a flex. And, these are a few guys that I think you can look for that might pop off. Okay, my first one, I actually drafted him. I dropped him for Luke Musgrave, but I really do think that this guy is going to have a season, and I think he might show out with Anthony Richardson's arm. Alec Pierce, wide receiver, Indy. Last year, he's only rostered in at least sleeper leagues in 19% of leagues, and was a second-round pick in 2022. It's not like he's a bad receiver, and he had 15 deep targets last year. Every other wide receiver on that team combined for 18 total. You bring in Anthony Richardson, who can throw the ball 65, 70 yards in the air. I think that they're going to send him on deep routes, and I think he's probably going to catch some. So Alec Pierce, look for him to maybe have a 40-yard touchdown in week 1.
I like that. By the way, going forward, I'll be going more of his style. I was hand up. I was at work today. Took it the wrong way. Did my research. Anyway, so we'll go on to his. It kind of makes it a little bit more fun because it is a huge deep dive. And then we'll keep record of like, hey, your sleeper hit this week. You're 1-0,
Right.
or we'll do 2 or 3.
Right.
We kind of keep a running record. This week we're not doing it because it's different.
Okay.
Or if you like, hey, if you guys want to kind of comment on the down below and just say, hey, I like the way you did the picks of like these guys, start them, sit them, whatever. Put suggestions down low. All right, my second one. You want that one's too easy. I'll go with running back, Washington Commanders, Brian Robinson. You kind of hit it on it before, man. He got shot last year. He's coming out full ready to go after the offseason.
Heard nothing but good things at a camp, dude. Nothing but like they love him.
Yep, they have a rookie running back, a rookie starting quarterback. They're going to ease into it. They're playing against the freaking Arizona Cardinals that are dog crap. So it's going to be the Commanders are going to win the game.
He's going to get the ball 25 plus times.
They're going to get up early. Yeah, they're going to get up early, and they're just going to say, hey, man, we're going to get your legs warmed up.
Yep.
Here's the ball. He's going to get 20 plus packs. He might get 2 tugs. Brian Robinson, Raheem Mostert, their for sure starts. They're both going to be in the top 10. RB in the top 10 of the RBs this week.
Whoa. Okay. So like I said, I only have 2 sleepers. My second sleeper if you didn't draft a tight end and you're struggling, or you have a Kelsey situation and you're listening and you're just like, fuck, I don't know where to go. I don't know a lot about it. Think about this tight end, okay? Tyler Conklin. Second in targets for the Jets last year at 87. First in catches at 58, and only one of 7 tight ends to go for 550 yards in back-to-back seasons. You add Aaron Rodgers there. He was obviously the biggest pass catcher they had there with receptions, and he was targeted the second most behind Garrett Wilson. So I think if you're looking for a super sneaky tight end play that probably might get you in the end zone, especially week 1, Tyler Conklin is your motherfucking man.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to go to my last 2 just briefly. One's a cherry picking. It's Higbee versus the Hawks, man. Hawks are going to jump up early on him. DK's 2 touchdowns in the first half. Higbee, they're going to be passing a lot. Cooper Kupp's out for a while. They have Van Jefferson and a bunch of nobodies behind them. Matt Stafford slings it. He's going to have to throw the ball 30 plus 40 times. Higbee's going to get 10 to 15 targets. Higbee's low-hanging fruit. That's easy money. Other one, watch for is Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a big week.
Yes.
He's playing against the Colts. He was drafted in the 4th round in Feed the Need as the 7th quarterback off the list. So
remember what I was saying. Yeah, remember what I was saying earlier, Mood. I don't think people make real good progression. I think they have decent rookies, second, sophomore, maybe improve a little bit towards the end, and then they go into that 3rd year and they're ready. I like that pick a lot.
And Trevor Lawrence, man, you look at all the weapons he has. He literally has Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk. He has Travis Etienne. He has Tank Bigsby.
Evan Ingram.
He has so many guys there. And that offense, they finished the season so strong. Trevor Lawrence is one of the highly touted guys ever to come out of college. Dude, I'm just saying, watch out for Trevor Lawrence. But, yeah, so remember, just let us know what you think about the rankings. If you want to do more of that, more whatever, just let us know. That being said, Trevor, will you have anything else to say, or you want to cue the...
No, just to recap, want to thank again, Rich. What an awesome draft day experience. Thank everyone for showing up. Thank everyone for paying on time, and just everyone just showing up and being super supportive. Hashtag Jib Strong, fuck cancer. Dude, super excited. God, football starts tomorrow, Derek.
Yeah, dude, trust me. You know who we talked about my team. You see who I picked up? I dropped the Puka Nacua guy, whatever, fuck him. But I picked up the tight end that's behind Travis Kelce. Why? Why do you ask?
Oh,
I want to watch somebody live Thursday night football against Blackburn. It is time. It's football season. It's no longer golf year. It's baseball playoffs. I have a 2-week bye because you all pussies suck. But it's football time. It's football season tomorrow.
Let's go.
So I am hyped. I can't wait. Tomorrow's going to be the longest day of work because it's just going to be the huge build-up just to watch Jahmyr Gibbs score 32 against you tomorrow. I'm so hyped. But yeah, so with that being said, man, cue the outro, and we'll good luck to everybody this week besides and Blackburn. Fuck Blackburn. All right. See you guys.
Deuces.